What's up, everybody? My name is Homm,
And I'm Nyce.
and we are Jeantrix. Welcome to our podcast. This is our first podcast of many podcasts, hopefully,
Yes.
that we plan to have. And we are entitling it Art Therapy, Creative Convos.
Yeah.
So,
Talking about everything that needs to be talked about within the creative community,
yes,
black creatives especially.
yes,
So it's a lot to talk about.
yes. A lot of things we'll be talking about deal with artists in general. A lot of things, we'll be discussing things that artists need to know sometimes, some things that artists go through in the industry that might help you guys out. We've been through a lot. We've been doing Jeantrix for almost 20 years actually. So yeah. Right. So we've had a lot of experience, some good, some bad, and some things that you guys might benefit from. So
Yeah.
that's why we plan on starting this.
Yeah.
And we also plan on doing some interviews with different artists and stuff, talking about different topics. So, yeah.
So, what's going on? How you been?
I've been great. It's been a crazy, crazy year,
Yeah.
obviously, with the pandemic and
Yeah.
different things happening with families and things like that.
Yeah.
But we here, though.
Yeah.
How about you?
We still create. I've been good. I've been just trying to stay afloat as far as keeping creative, like being creative with everything. With so like you said, with so much going on, it's kind of I'm just at a point in my life where everything is all about balance.
Right,
Like
right.
everything is about balance, whether it's being creative, family, friends, everything right now.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, still being creative and just being inspired by everything that's going on, whether it's good or bad.
Right,
Just staying inspired right now.
right. Yeah, that balance is so key, especially within the past year,
Yeah, this past year been some shit.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah, this past year has been some shit, but we here, we
Yeah.
survived it,
And I hope y'all are doing good too.
yeah,
A lot of creatives out there, we as creatives we kind of tend to suffer the most because we're so sensitive to certain things. We see things differently from a lot of people.
yeah,
So mentally we have to make sure we're okay.
yeah. A lot of creatives been having that I've talked to been having a hard time staying inspired with everything that's going on, and that's one of the reasons why we decided to do this, because so many creatives haven't been inspired. They
Right.
haven't been able to find like the motivation, and I get it because I've been there too. But it's just one of those things where it's just like you got to break out of it.
Yeah. So how do you stay inspired
Uh,
and motivated with so much going on?
You know what? I really don't know, but I just know that. Well, no, I do know. I stay inspired by watching things that are going to motivate me, or like where I see myself, because I have a vision of where I want to be and the things that I want to do. So if I kind of keep that in my surrounding,
Okay.
whether it's my friends inspire me a lot.
Okay.
Friends, family, people that are actually doing something. That keeps me inspired a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, that keeps me inspired. How about you?
I mean, I get inspiration from different things. Like lately, this past year, I've been getting a lot of inspiration from like a lot of old movies, a lot of sci-fi movies. You already know I'm a little bit of a nerd. I ain't say all that. I'm a little bit of a nerd though. I like my Star Wars. My Matrix. You already know the Matrix.
Yeah.
It's
That's
dear
your
to me.
shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
Don't nobody say nothing bad about the Matrix.
We're gonna let you
will get shot.
Okay.
But no, like movies, a lot of nature, a lot of time. I've been spending a lot of time in nature in the past year.
Yeah.
Just de-stressing and just releasing whatever doesn't serve me. Whatever emotion doesn't serve me.
Acupuncture.
That too. Acupuncture, massages, the spa,
Yeah.
the gym.
Yeah. That's been my
Yes.
shit. Like the gym has been my place to say, you know what, I'm gonna turn my phone on airplane mode. I'm gonna play some music, and I'm gonna just do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
Because like social media, just looking at that shit all day, or just dealing with personal shit.
Right.
that's a lot. So the gym has definitely been my place. Even though it took a while for me to get back in the gym.
Yeah,
because I was like, I don't want to be around nobody.
Oh, I feel you.
I was the first time I went back to the gym. This guy was coughing and shit. I was like, I don't think I want to be here.
Right.
So it took me a while to get used to being back in the gym. But yeah, once I got over that fear of the gym.
Yeah, they was closed for a minute too.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't even cough around people no more. Like
you can't. You get shook up when somebody cough around you. You don't know what's going on. So.
They can have allergies. You like, fuck you up. Fuck is going on? But you know, it is what it is. Yeah. That's the world we live in.
I mean, but at the end of the day, we all human. We just gotta this COVID shit just really like shocked a nation. Like it really did a number on us. And back to being creatives, like it just did. It did a number on everybody, but definitely it did a number on creatives.
Right. So how do you maintain that mental health? I guess that creatives might benefit from.
Sometimes it's all about just starting. Like even when I don't feel like creating, but I feel like I haven't created in a while. Mm-hmm. Like I went through a period where I just didn't create for weeks. And I was just like, I was thinking, I was still working because I was still like working on the business aspect of the brand and things like that. But as far as creating, I wasn't doing it. I wasn't inspired or motivated to do it.
Yeah.
But when I just picked up a brush and I just put some colors together, I was like, all right, I'm going to work with this color. Here's a canvas.
Right.
And I just started. And I just started with some abstract art, just paint streaks and things like that. And I feel like that's all I needed to do, and at the end of the day, that's all it is with being a creative is just starting. Like we always have these dope, cool ideas, but people are afraid to start because a lot of people are afraid to put their shit out there.
Right.
Because everybody's when you put your shit out there, people they're afraid of being judged or whatever the case is. But sometimes you just need to start.
Yeah.
Even if the creation comes out and it's straight bullshit,
right.
Like you hate it at the end of the day, it's like it still sparked something. It still made me want to start. So that's what I did. I just started painting and just started.
That goes back to how we first started too. Like we knew somebody was having a fashion show.
Yeah.
I mean, we had already done some creative stuff for ourselves.
Yeah.
But we knew somebody was having a show, so it was like just start, and then the ideas just started coming to us, and we did potato chip bags, all kind of crazy shit. Like I mean, looking back,
we did all types of crazy weird shit.
It was a little trash back then, but every artist has to go through those. Said hot garbage. Every artist has to go through that though.
Yeah, but more importantly, we just started.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was whether we look back at it. Most artists look back at their stuff 10 years ago and be like, "What the fuck was that? What was I doing?" But we started, and we evolved into something else. So I feel like that's what it's all about. It's just starting with that small idea, and then keep going until it gets you to where as though you need to be.
Right, and look at it as practice in the beginning.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's not going to be perfect, of course, until you a couple years in, but when you first starting out, just look at it as practice and just getting those creative juices flowing, and then you'll figure everything else out later on, like the business side of things and how to perfect certain collections and how to perfect your brand. I guess
if it's ever perfect to you.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's ever perfect to you, because I don't think creatively anything I do will be perfect to me. I think it'll just get to the point where it's just like, all right, I'm better.
Right.
I'm a little bit better, but I already know in 10 years, 5 years from now, I'm gonna be better than this.
Right.
So you just have to really trust the process.
Right.
Like, and just keep on and just know that it's going to, your craft is going to get better. Your business is going to get better. I don't know nobody that started somewhere and 5 years later they're at the same position if they consistently kept going.
Right.
Even if you're not exactly where you want to be,
right,
you're much further than you were 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
So, that's all it's about. Just keep going.
And I feel like with our collections, like we're never 100% happy with them,
Never.
But at the most, I would say maybe 80%. At the very most,
Yeah.
because we always find little things that we could have did better.
Yeah.
But then we learn for the next time what to do.
Yeah.
Even though that's still not gonna be 100%.
Because we're gonna find something else that could have been better
Exactly.
about that one.
And
so.
that's all about elevation. Though.
Yeah.
Learning from your mistakes, learning from what you could have did better. Because the way this world is set up, nothing is meant to be perfect.
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
not.
You know what I mean?
And I feel like if your craft is, if you feel like your shit is perfect, you're doing something wrong.
Right, absolutely.
You got it figured all out.
Right.
Ain't nothing about you wrong. Ain't nothing you got it all.
Right.
But that's not realistic.
Not
that's
at all.
not realistic, and I think that's what just makes a creative grow. Like you have to have room to grow as a creative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have to be able to feel like you need to grow more. You have to feel like you're always a student. If you feel like you know it all and your craft is just the shit, you don't need to learn nothing else. Then I feel like that kind of takes away from the excitement of it.
Right. It kind of builds your ego.
Yeah, you build your ego. You know it all. You can't nobody tell you shit, and you just creating is not fun for you no more because there's nothing for you to learn.
Right.
Or for you to improve.
Right.
So I think that it's important to always feel like it's something else that you can learn. It's something else you can do to take it up another level that you already been on.
Right. Even if you don't feel like you need to improve on the creative side, improving on the business side, it's still a part of everything. Like there's always room to improve on the creative side, of course, but the business side is just as important as well.
Shit, the business side is more important.
Yeah, more important. Yeah, in a lot of ways. Yeah.
We never knew that. We were just like, oh, create.
Right.
But we're broke. We're fucking broke.
Right.
So it was just like we had to learn numbers. We had to learn how many different ways that we can create revenue within what we do.
Right. We had to learn about LLCs and having lawyers and managers and trademarks and
headaches. But you gotta. Well, I don't even want to say it was a headache. It was just something that as a creative you don't think about.
Right.
You just thinking about creating. You think about colors and what can I do tomorrow that's different from what I did yesterday.
Right.
But it's like you gotta protect yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it's kind of hard in this country being a creative. You know, especially on the business side. And they make it so hard.
Yeah, and then it's like now big brands they steal from smaller brands, which we'll touch a lot on that.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, we'll touch on that, but you got to protect yourself doing this. You got to protect yourself, and you got to make sure that what you're creating is something that's going to last, and it's something that's going to be something that's beneficial, because you don't always want to be a like that creative, what they call it, like starving artist.
Yeah,
that's a real thing.
Absolutely.
Like it's a lot of, especially for black artists, there's a lot of like struggling black artists because we don't have the proper resources. So it's just one of those things where you have to just realizing what works for you and your brand and how you can actually survive as a creative.
Right. So, that's so important. That's so very important.
Yeah. Like, but other than that, COVID has been shit. It forced a lot of people to deal with their shit.
It forced a lot of people to deal with this shit. It happened for a reason.
Yeah.
I try to look at the bright side of things, even though it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It forced people a lot to deal with their emotions. It forced people to deal with their family issues and shit because we was all under each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
if you were, a lot of people scared to be under. You either was with family or you were by yourself, and that really taught a lot of people about themselves.
Hell yeah.
Like I feel like this past year, 2 years, pretty much, a lot of people had to deal with who they were, and they couldn't really run from it. You couldn't. I mean, you could run from it from drinking or whatever, because a lot of people was in the house just drinking, self-medicating, all of that. Yeah. So you could do that, but you still had, when that wore off, you still had to deal with your shit.
Exactly.
Like I feel like people had to really really deal with who they were within the last 2 years.
Right.
So,
And as a creative, it's so important to deal with your shit
yeah.
because, like I said, we tend to be more sensitive than the average person.
Yeah.
So we kind of suffer more than the average person on the inside.
Yeah.
And then we put it through our art, but sometimes art isn't enough. Sometimes you just need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially last
Or
year.
you might need to just hear somebody talk about it, like we're doing right now.
Exactly. So that's what actually inspired this podcast. We had a whole art revolution movement back in 2014, and then we revamped it last year.
Yeah.
And then, of course, COVID was going on too. So we felt that this was important for people to hear us speak about certain things that are important.
Yeah, very important. Creative conversations. This is something that needs to. It needs to be like a therapy situation because they have therapists for people that's like dealing with the everyday issues, but it's not like how are you dealing with everything creatively? Like how are you lasting creatively? Because I feel like as a creative, you just have that urge to create, and when you don't have it, when you're not inspired, you feel like it's kind of the end of the world. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
All this time in my life, I always wanted to do something. I always wanted to create something, and now it's just a block that I can't get over. And I think that's what it was this last year for a lot of people. It was just a block that a lot of people just couldn't figure out how to get over, or just how to get something out of it.
Right.
Like, because usually when you go through emotional shit, like you said, it comes out within your art.
Right.
But a lot of people just at a stop. Like, they didn't know where to get it from, where, just to get recharged when it comes to this.
And I know when the pandemic first started, you mentioned that you actually had a block.
Yeah, I had a crazy block.
So how did you deal with that?
I kind of just wrote it out. I just kind of took the time as far as saying, like, maybe you don't need to create right now.
Right.
Just enjoy. You don't have anywhere to be.
Right.
You don't got shit to do.
Right.
Everything is locked up. Right. Enjoy just being present. Sometimes clearing your mind is better than actually trying to force ideas.
Right.
And because at first I was trying to force ideas. I'm like, oh, let me watch something. Let me get inspired by this. Let me do this. And it's like, you don't want to do that because you don't want to get too inspired. Your shit start looking like other people's shit.
Right. But in the back of your mind, it's like, I gotta pay bills. I gotta do this. I need money. So then it kind of forces you to try to force something out.
Yeah.
Even though it's nothing there.
Yeah.
You gotta.
You gotta try to make something happen. But I feel like everything that happened for us, like around that time, it naturally flowed. Like the whole Black is King happened when our stuff was featured in Beyonce's video, and I feel like
that was amazing.
That was that was something out of nowhere. But I also felt that kind of pushed us up a level, and it kind of was like, all right, it's bringing some sales.
Right.
That's coming. That's getting some press.
Right.
That's happening. So that to me, that was kind of like a force that I needed to happen. I needed that to happen. Yeah, I needed that to happen.
That spark got relit.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That happened. Then but it was still like we were riding the wave of that, and then the whole support Black businesses and things like that. That was happening when everything was going on, which is still going on.
Yeah, I'm grateful that's still going on.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was happening, and that helped us a lot. But we still had to create new shit.
Yeah.
And then I feel like at that moment it was like, well, what you gonna do after this? Because you got to keep up with this momentum.
Right.
You can't just let this momentum die out.
That's important. Yeah.
What you gonna do after this?
Right.
So yeah, we just kept going. We kept rocking, and
that was a rough time too. A lot of people don't know that was a rough time.
Yeah,
for
that's
us.
around the time
My brother passed.
Yeah.
In the same week that Black is King came out.
Yeah, so it was like you
So it was
couldn't
like
even really
I
celebrate.
couldn't.
Yeah,
Like I felt the excitement, but I didn't at the same time.
yeah,
Cause it was like crazy lows and crazy highs,
yeah.
and I
We
was
had
just
to do
somewhere in the middle,
press.
just like numb. Like,
Yeah,
what is really going on right now?
yeah. And you stuck through it because we had to do press interviews,
Man,
everything, and it was just like, I was just like, damn, I hope he's good. Like I just kept thinking like, even like outside of the interviews, I always like checked up on you, made sure
yeah,
you were good.
and I appreciate that.
Um,
Honestly,
but yeah, that was a time.
it was a time, but we got through it. Though.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know
was
how.
a fucking time.
But you know, they say you can't go through, you can't get to the good in life without going through the hardships.
That's
You know
that's
what
true.
I mean?
That's true. And it's just like one thing I learned to do is kind of like not. I don't want to say accept, but I guess accept.
Yeah,
I guess that's the word. Like just it's life. Like that's one thing I, especially within these 2 years, that just like everything just happened. I just feel like you just saw people dropping like flies.
yes.
Like you just saw people dropping, and you saw like I never seen no shit like this. Like within
like in a movie.
we never thought we would experience nothing
Right.
like this.
Hadn't happened in 100 years.
Yeah. So we weren't prepared for this. We didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Um.
But that kind of inspired me too. Like seeing so many people go through so many hardships.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of led me back to like my natural, you know, healing methods and stuff like that. It led me to like study
like
more
the Reiki
herbs
and everything.
Yeah, and then recently, as I told you, I got certified in doing Reiki healing.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's like a method of healing where it uses energy from your hands to like heal people and things like that. It's actually
I actually did one of the classes.
Oh yeah,
I did one of the classes, and I felt everything.
It's real.
Yeah, I
It's
felt
real.
everything.
And if you really study like different religions and stuff, it's in every religion and culture and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We just forget about these things.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't think that another person can, you know,
Can just naturally heal with that.
Yeah. Or
Because
you
we
can
so
heal
used to the idea of a doctor.
Right.
Whatever it is, we don't think that it's. And I feel like if people don't physically see something like medication or anything like that, they don't believe in it.
Right.
It's like people have to physically see something to believe in it.
Right. And people forget that doctors, they call it a practice for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're practicing. They don't know how to cure most of the stuff that we go through.
Yeah.
So,
They want to write your prescription, get their money, go.
Right. They not interested.
That's what they want to do.
They not interested in curing you.
Yeah.
Like you said, they trying to make their money.
Yeah.
So we got to go back to these natural.
It's a business.
forms
At
of
the end of
healing.
the day.
It's a business.
Yeah.
You know, and the natural medicine and stuff is a business as well. But it has been proven to cure certain things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the pandemic just inspired me to get back to that, basically.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. So, you know, hopefully I'll be doing some free Reiki sessions soon for some of our supporters, maybe
Yeah.
family and friends first.
Yeah. Now you know it's COVID.
You know, yeah, it's cool.
So they,
Hey,
as long as they wear their mask. And all
Right,
that,
right.
Yeah. All right.
hey, I ain't living in fear though. We gonna be alright though.
Yeah. So I feel like with that, like with you going into that, I feel like that we both kind of like tapped into like a lot of like just natural stuff like
Right.
that, and like big on like we've always been big on like manifestation and things like that, but these past couple years we've been noticing a lot of shit that we
Yes.
manifested coming
Yes.
into light. So
It's weird. We'll talk about that maybe on another podcast.
yeah,
But
yeah, we had that needs to be its own.
yes, because a lot of people need to know how to do these things, and there's nothing spooky about it. We do it all the
Somebody
time.
up here that's like, well, we're gonna get you to do the Reiki stuff.
Right.
That's your field.
Right.
But maybe maybe not a tarot card reading.
I know people that do tarot cards.
A lot of people do. Well, I ain't gonna say no. A lot of people do tarot card reading. Somebody just spooked me out with that.
Who? Never mind. We'll talk later.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah, but the right person, not that
So gotta be
person.
the right person.
But I definitely think we should get some people up here that can get into some things like that.
Yeah, I think people will be interested in that.
Yeah,
because a lot of creatives are in touch with that stuff.
Yeah,
without even knowing it. Actually, so
it
can definitely help.
Yeah, we're gonna get somebody up here.
Yep.
Just not nobody creepy.
Nah. We gotta test them out first.
And Halloween coming up, not too creepy.
We ain't doing all that.
Not too creepy.
We ain't doing all that. We ain't into the creepy